25 years, 50 seasons. And tonight, CBS is putting 24 of the most dangerous players to ever set foot on that island back in the game, all at once. We are talking Cirie Fields, the woman who has never won and has broken more people trying to stop her than anyone in this show's history. We are talking Ozzy Lusth, the man who turns an immunity challenge into a personal highlight reel. We are talking Coach Wade, Benjamin Coach Wade, who is somehow back for a fourth time and still convinced he is the Dragon Slayer. And those are just 3 of the 24. Tonight's premiere is 3 hours long, 3 tribes of 8, fan-voted twists that nobody, not even the players, knew about going in. And one winner who walks away with the title of sole survivor on the most historic season this game has ever seen. I have been covering this show for years, and I am telling you right now, I have never been this locked in for a premiere. Not even close. Stay with me because this breakdown is everything. Here is what we are covering today. First, I am walking you through exactly what makes this cast the most dangerous collection of players in Survivor history, and why putting these specific 24 people together on the same beach is basically a controlled explosion. Second, I am breaking down the fan-voted twists that are already in play before anyone even sets foot on that island, and what they mean for the people most at risk. And third, I am giving you my premiere night predictions, my player rankings going in, and one take that the Survivor Reddit is going to absolutely come for me over. If you are new here, welcome. We break down every blindside, every idol play, and every Jeff, I need to play this moment from the shows you cannot stop watching. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode breakdown this season, because Survivor 50 is going to give us content every single week. All right. Let me paint you a picture of exactly what we are walking into tonight. Survivor 50, In the Hands of the Fans, premiering February 25th, 2026 on CBS and Paramount+. A 3-hour premiere episode. 24 returning players divided into 3 tribes of 8. And for the first time since Winners at War back in 2020, this is an all-returning players season. No newbies. No one getting a free pass because they don't know how the game works. Everyone here has slept in the rain, voted out people they cared about, and gone home thinking about what they would do differently. And the theme this season? In the Hands of the Fans. That means U.S. Viewers voted, before filming even started, on key elements of the game design. The twist mechanics, the idol rules, parts of the format that the players themselves didn't even know about until they arrived in Fiji. Think about what that means for a veteran player. You've been on this show before. You've studied the game. You've prepared a strategy. And then Jeff Probst stands on that beach and tells you that this season plays by rules that nobody, not your Survivor coach, not your alliance partner from 3 seasons ago, not your strategy podcast, could have told you about in advance. That is chaos by design. And this cast is exactly the kind of cast that thrives in chaos. But wait, before we even get to the players, I need to tell you about something that happened in the lead-up to tonight that shows you just how serious CBS is about making this season an event. They hid 50 physical immunity idols, 1 in each of the 50 states, a national scavenger hunt, real idols, real fans. And whoever found them got entered to win a trip to Fiji during filming. That is not a promotion. That is a statement. CBS looked at season 50 and said, "We are going to make this the biggest thing we have ever done. Full stop." And then they looked at the guest list. Mr. Beast is appearing this season. Billie Eilish, Zac Brown, Jimmy Fallon. These are not cameos. These are full episode appearances tied to game twists. The crossover with Beast Games already brought Jeff Probst into Mr. Beast's world. Now, Mr. Beast is coming to ours. 3 hours, 24 legends, fan-voted chaos, celebrity appearances, and Cirie Fields playing her 6th season of Survivor. I need you to understand, this is not a regular premiere. This is a television event. Now, let's talk about the players, because this is the part I have been dying to get into. Let me start with the person who I believe is the single most important player on this entire cast, and it is not who most people are going to say. Cirie Fields. Cirie is 55 years old. She is playing her 6th season of Survivor, tying Boston Rob Mariano for the most appearances in the show's history. She has played 136 days on this island across 5 seasons, and she has never won. Not once. And not because she played badly, because she played so well that people were terrified of her. She has never made it to a final tribal council. She gets cut right before the end every single time by people who know they cannot beat her in front of a jury. She is widely considered the greatest player in Survivor history who has never won. And she said it herself before this season. She does not feel like a legend until she has a win. That hunger, after 136 days over 5 seasons, that is a dangerous energy to bring to a camp on day 1. But here is the question with Cirie that everyone needs to be asking right now. She is also the most connected person in this cast. She has relationships, real, deep, multi-season relationships, with more of these 24 players than almost anyone else. That is her superpower. It is also her target. Because on day 1, everyone is going to look at Cirie and think, if I don't break up her network before it gets going, I'm done. Can you believe this woman has to walk onto that beach knowing that everyone is already planning around her before the first challenge even happens? Most players would crumble under that weight. Cirie Fields eats it for breakfast. Now, let me talk about the old-school legends in this cast, because this is where it gets fascinating from a game theory perspective. Colby Donaldson, Season 2. All-Stars, Heroes versus Villains. Colby is a Survivor icon from a completely different era of the game. He played when alliances were simple, idols barely existed, and the strategic layer was nowhere near as complex as it is today. He is a challenge beast, he is a legend, and he is going to walk into this game knowing that the new era players see him as a throwback, someone who plays on reputation and loyalty in a game that now rewards cutthroat precision. Jenna Lewis, Season 1. She was there when this show started. She is literally a piece of Survivor history walking back onto the beach, and she said before this season that people see her as a token Season 1 player, a nostalgia pick. She is out to prove that wrong. Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick, Palau, Guatemala. Heroes versus villains. This woman survived being the last person left on her tribe in Palau. She woke up one day and everyone else was gone. She was a tribe of one, and she kept going. That is a mentality that does not die. And then there is Coach, Benjamin Coach Wade. 3 seasons in, and the man has never stopped believing he is the most honorable warrior this game has ever seen. His social game has gotten sharper every season. His strategy in South Pacific, where he played a deeply loyal, cult-like alliance all the way to the end, was honestly underrated. The problem with Coach is always the jury. They never give him credit. Does a 4th season change that, or does he make the same mistake of believing his own legend? Okay, I need you to lock in right here because this is the section that changes how you watch tonight's 3-hour premiere. The fan-voted twists. Remember, viewers voted on key game design elements before filming started. The players had no idea what they were walking into, and based on what we know about what fans voted for, here is what I think the strategic landscape looks like before anyone even finds a shelter. Fans voted for the game to go back to 39 days. Not the compressed 26-day format of the new era. 39 days. That is a massive advantage for old-school players who were built for the long game. Cirie, Ozzy, Coach, Colby, Jenna. These are people who know what it feels like to grind through 5+ weeks on the island. The new era players, Savannah, Charlie Davis, Dee Valladares, Tiffany Nicole Irvin, they won, or nearly won, in 26 days. 48 days is a completely different physical and mental battle. Fans also voted on idol rules and challenge mechanics. Without getting into spoiler territory, the way idols work in this season reportedly creates a higher risk, higher reward dynamic that benefits bold, aggressive players. Rick Devens, who is literally built for finding idols and playing them at the exact right moment, is going to thrive in that environment. Q Burdett, who finished Survivor 46 with 5 idols in his pocket and still somehow lost. That man is going to come back with even more chaos energy in a format that rewards exactly the kind of reckless confidence he has in abundance. Let me run through a few more players I am watching closely tonight because these premier 3 hours are going to set the tone for the entire season. Ozzy Lusth. 4 seasons. The best challenge player this game has ever produced. He won 5 individual immunities in Cook Islands and tied the all-time record. His problem has always been the same. He gets too comfortable. He wins challenges, he provides for the camp, and then he acts like that is enough to keep him safe. It is not. In a cast of 24 returning players who all know how dangerous Ozzy is in the individual game, he has a massive target before day 1. If Ozzy can figure out how to play a social game at the same level as his physical game this season, he might actually win this thing. Aubry Bracco. 3 seasons. Runner-up in Cow Wrong in what many people still believe was a robbery. Aubry is a deep strategic thinker who adapts to her environment better than almost anyone in the cast. Her weakness has always been the jury red. She sometimes misses where people's emotions are at heading into a final tribal. In a cast this big and this complex, emotional intelligence is going to matter enormously. If Aubry has worked on that. Watch out. Christian Hubicki, David vs. Goliath. The puzzle genius. The man who won a 6-hour endurance challenge on willpower alone. Christian is one of the most likable people to ever play this game, and that likability is a weapon. He was taken out at the final 7 in his original season because people finally realized they were never going to beat him in front of a jury. Coming back into a cast where everyone knows that. Is he going to get taken out even faster? Or does he use that reputation strategically? And then there's Mike White, creator of The White Lotus, runner-up on David vs. Goliath, a man who played a genuinely brilliant social game in his original season and nearly won. Mike is relaxed, strategic, funny, and has absolutely zero ego about how the game is played. In a cast full of legends who are playing for their legacy, Mike is the guy who might just play for the win. And that difference in motivation could take him very far. Hot takes time, and I am not holding back. Hot take number 1. The biggest first boot risk on this entire cast is not who the internet is saying it is. Everyone is talking about Coach as a first boot because of his reputation, but I actually think Coach is safer than people realize. He is entertaining, he creates alliance loyalty, and people like having him around early because he distracts from the real threats. My actual first boot watch? Q Burdett. Q came on to Survivor 46 with the energy of a man who had watched every episode of every season and decided he was going to play harder than anyone in history. That backfired spectacularly. He knows it. He said it in interviews. But in a cast of 24 legends who have all seen what happened with Q on season 46, the question is whether they see him as a chaos agent they can use or a chaos agent they need to eliminate immediately. I think it is the latter. Hot take number 2. Cirie is not winning this season, and I say that as someone who has rooted for Cirie since Panama. This is her 6th season. She is the name on everyone's lips. The most connected person in the cast is also the most watched person in the cast from minute 1. In Winners at War, the first All-Star season since this one, the biggest legends got taken out early specifically because people knew they couldn't beat them at the end. Cirie knows this. She has prepared for this, but preparation does not always overcome being the most obvious threat in a cast of 24. I hope I am wrong. I genuinely do. Hot take number 3, and this is the one that is going to absolutely destroy my comment section. The new era players are more dangerous than the legends in this cast. Not more iconic, not better TV, but more dangerous. Savannah Louie just won this game. Dee Validares just won this game. Charlie Davis nearly won this game. These players understand the current version of Survivor, the fast-moving, idol-heavy, read the room every 24 hours version, better than any old-school legend. And they are going to get underestimated because they don't have the name recognition. Underestimation in Survivor is a superpower. Comment below. Who is your winner pick going into tonight's premiere? I want a name. No, it depends answers. Give me one name and tell me why. My pick? I am going with Aubry Bracco. She has been waiting for this chance for years. The game has finally caught up to how she plays it. And in a cast this big, a quiet, strategic queen with emotional intelligence and zero quit in her? That is a dangerous combination.